Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. We have a very special episode today, STAKECHAIN.CRYPTO. We're gonna dive into a very special altcoin, which I think has a lot of potential. But I'm not saying this because I think the value of its proposition will actually go up. I think about this in another term, in terms of utility. Now, what am I talking about? As you can see here, I'm on CoinGecko.com and I entered Ankr. So this is the token we are discussing today. What does Ankr actually do? Now, Ankr by itself basically describes it as to be a node as a service platform, some type of cloud platform where you can basically deploy any type of node for all these known blockchains that we have in the space, right? So today what I kind of thought about this was basically just we're gonna actually we're gonna deploy one of those nodes on a Kusama network. If you don't know what Kusama is, we also go back into that. And then we're gonna see if it actually worked, what the pricings are, and if it's profitable in the end, because this is basically what we kind of also are interested, right? You don't wanna lose money by investing stuff unless you're Warren Buffett. Anyways, the thing is, we actually need to take a look at that because I think it has potential, but I'm not quite sure if it's really going to pay out. But let's have a look at it. So the first thing that you basically want to do is actually create an account on Ankr. So you basically get on started, and then it will actually land you to the page to sign up. Once you actually done that, you can easily log in. Now, there are two important things here that you need to know. To run a node, you will need to pay. It just begs the question, what type of way you want to pay. Do you want to pay with credit card, or do you want to pay with the Ankr token? This is basically the token that we were discussing here, right? Now, what I would suggest is actually to buy some of these tokens if you're really interested in deploying a node. And if you take a look, like in the past 30 days or even 90 days, I mean, it was actually growing steadily, pretty linear. And this going to the future, if the price continues to rally like this, it's going to be cheaper for you to run the node. So this is why I would actually suggest you to buy some Ankr tokens and pay the node costs with the Ankr token. Now let's have a look at that quickly. So if we quickly go here, so basically it logged me out again. Quickly, I'm just gonna log back in quickly. All right, so the first thing you're gonna see here is this. You're gonna be in the market, and here you're gonna see all the available nodes you can actually deploy. Now, some of these nodes are full nodes or are actually just staking nodes. So you always need to be careful about that, right? So if you would take, for example, the Chainlink node, it's a developer node and it's not a staking node. That might be coming in the future, who knows. But if you would check on Cosmos here, you would get a validator node, and if you click on it, you will see some information about the minimal requirements and all that stuff and what it does, and yeah, and so on. But for today, we actually checking on Kusama. Now, what is Kusama? You probably heard about a project called Polkadot, which is this one here. Polkadot is going to be, I kind of see it as an improved Ethereum network. Why do I say that? If you take a look at the Kusama project, it's basically it's a further development of the Ethereum, and which seems to be very promising. They already have some good projects going on, and the whole community, especially a lot of the developer community, is moving from Ethereum to Polkadot, which is very important to know, because I truly believe that if Ethereum doesn't come out with phase 0 pretty soon, by that I mean this year, I think Polkadot is gonna rise massively. Now, what has Polkadot to do with Kusama? Kusama is like a canary network of Polkadot. It's like the testing network. So all of the new features from Polkadot that are being developed are firstly tested and used in Kusama. and after a while they get transmitted to Polkadot. This is what I kind of understood. And this of course brings many advantages, because if you are in Kusama, you can already reap some of those benefits that are actually happening in the network. Now, to run a validator node, even here, you basically just click on Kusama. We have here some specs. So we need the storage between 160 and 200 gigabyte, memory of 2 Gs at least, and CPU 1 to 2. Of course, 2 would be better. So basically, when you are here, you would basically click deploy, and then it would ask you some questions here. Where should the server location be, United States or Singapore? Here you can actually add a name, and the node name I would actually name it quite good, because this is also the name where it will be visible in the network, in the Kusama network. And yeah, and the payment method, of course, here you can change to use a credit card or the ERC20 Ankr token, which you prefer. I mean, I think there are many things to go about this. I mean, if you are actually using Tether to pay here, that would actually be a good thing, because I think you can earn interest on your Tether in DeFi, and if you're actually making some good interest, you might actually use that to send it here to pay for your node. So that might actually scale very well. I didn't check that already, but I think that's going to be good too. Now, after you actually selected all of this stuff, you can actually run deploy. And then it basically at some point it will create a droplet. It will, I'm not quite sure which service they're using, if it's AWS or, I mean, no, actually they're not using that, because as far as I understood, Ankr works kind of differently. This is exactly what I was seeing somewhere described in the FAQ. So basically they're actually using as power cloud computing platforms, but from existing computer resources that are idle. So there will be some people that have these resources, and basically they will kind of give it, or give it to Ankr so they can use it to basically deploy all these nodes and stuff. This is what I understood from it. So about the pricing, which I mean is a very important thing, right? Here basically what we can check is after we actually deployed the Kusama node, you're gonna see something like this, where it basically will stat the sync status and the current height of the block and stuff, and how much RAM and storage it's being used. Keep in mind, I actually started this 24 hours ago, so it's still in sync. That might take a while probably. And important for you to know is this session key, and this is the name of your node. Now, once this is actually here, you can actually already check in the Polkadot telemetry web app to verify that your node is actually recognized in the network. And that will basically look like, let me quickly check where that is. Oh yeah, it's like this. So this is the telemetry Polkadot. Here you see I already selected, pre-selected. Usually if it's not around here, you need to scroll down till you find it and stuff. But here is my node. Already with 25 peers. And here are some small stats, the block size and the address and where the node is located. So this is actually running well. At this point, the only thing that we need to discuss now is basically how can you actually use that node in the Canary network of Kusama. Now, for that, you actually need to go to Polkadot.js. Now, if you don't know what it is, so we were discussing before Polkadot network, and Kusama is like the testing network. And usually whenever you come to polkadot.js.org, I can actually put this this link in the description so you guys can actually see for yourselves. So in a Polkadot account, you would see something like this. You have an account, and but remember, we are actually working with Kusama. So you would need to go here on the top left corner and click here on this arrow, and then select Kusama Canary hosted by Parity. So we're going to select that, load that again. So it's going to load all of our data. And yeah, afterwards we have the accounts. And here you can actually see I actually have a regular account, which is this one. That's why it's a type injected. So you can actually add a new account by just giving it a name, a password, and remember to use the mnemonic seed in case you lose it. And you probably thought to yourself, okay, how can I actually buy Kusama? Well, for buying Kusama, you can actually use some exchanges. I think one of them is KuCoin, and the other one is, we're gonna see right away. Okay, you have KuCoin, Hotbit, and Bikey, BKEX. So the one that I used was actually KuCoin because I had some other coins there that I really didn't need it. So I sold a couple of them and bought some Kusama with it. Once you are in KuCoin or your exchange and you have some Kusama already, you can basically just withdraw them and send them to the address that you basically generated here. So you're gonna make a new account, define all the things that are needed, and then you can actually click on the symbol and it will actually copy the address. So this address is in the clipboard. You just say withdraw to this address, and then you're gonna receive your Kusama pretty fast here. Now, once you've actually done that, we actually want to transfer after Ankr is done with our node, deploying our node. What we want is basically just add some coins to it, right? Because we want to be validating as soon as possible because this is costing us. How much is this actually costing us? This is a very good question. Now, this node, while syncing, costs us around $2.6 a day. Which sounds a little bit high, but we're going to compare now, let's say, DigitalOcean, how much it would cost if you would actually need to set up your own server with all the requirements. So this $2.6 are around, so let me calculate that, how much that is in a month. I think, so it's 30 days, $78. So for the same stats that we basically generated, so let me quickly check where we have the stats: 2 cores, 8 gigs of RAM, and 80 gigs of storage. So we would add here 80 gigs of. So yeah, we're probably gonna land around here, but I mean, this is not really showing the right thing because we have 80 gigs of storage, and this one only has 25 from DigitalOcean. Of course, it's a little bit overpriced compared to DigitalOcean, but in the end, they also do the whole run up with the code. So basically, they're actually installing Rust that you actually need to run Kusama, copying the code from GitHub, then start the synchronization of the network and stuff. So this is basically all the things you would need to run a validator. You would actually need to see in the Kusama network wiki, and there's some preliminary information and also some other information. How many KSM do you need actually on your validator to basically start to be elected? So one thing here is that the validators are elected based on Fragment's algorithm. Now, what is the Fragment's algorithm? It's an algorithm selection process to basically select which validators should be become validators, actually, from all the nominees and from all the nominated validators. So what we have to understand here is that there are nominators and validators. The nominators basically vote for validators, which are nodes. Which one might be the ones that prefer, either because of the low fees or because they haven't been slashed before or because they're known for something. But I kind of understood they also really like to have these fancy words and for these nodes, and that might also be a thing that you will see on my project. And here you also see the minimum requirements and stuff. But yeah, and this is basically what would you need to run all these commands to basically get started to have the node. And this is basically what Ankr does already for you by just selecting with one click what you want from the marketplace. Now, let's quickly check here. So yeah, of course, there's going to be a little bit of a price increase that you will need to pay to run the node from Ankr. But remember, we are actually paying with Ankr tokens. You could actually pay with Tether, which if you actually are lending, you might get some interest from Tether and put this back in here. So your node actually might be not that costly compared to this other service of DigitalOcean. Now, let's quickly have a look at what else did I wanted to say. So yeah, I also had some things here regarding the algorithm, the fragment algorithm. So one important thing here is that note in terms of validator selection for the following algorithm, you can think of voters as nominators and candidates as validators. So basically, you have nominators that vote for validators. And this is the process how validators get in the end to the process of validating for the network. Why do I say that specifically? Because remember that we actually deployed the node, but this node is running, yes, but it needs to be voted from nominators. This we can actually see if we go to staking here on Polkadot.js. And we would get to target all the validators and how many nominators they have. So if you take a look at these validators, CableX, Zoo Capital, and Riabina, Staking for All, you see they all have some type of validator nominators here. And they also set up the commission, how many fees they're taking, and so on. Here can actually make an estimation. So let's say we have like 100 Kusama and you want to stake them. Here you see the profit per era that you're getting and from which node, basically, from which validator. And if we check quickly here, my node, so basically you see my node is here, already set up from Ankr. Have a set a commission of 1% and staked around 450 KSM. What I really need is to have some nominators that I get some weights, so I get really introduced to actually validate the network. As long that doesn't happen, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna get any rewards. And this is now the tricky part, right? Because we want to get rewards, so our costs from the node deployment doesn't overpass this. To actually go about this, what I did is create another account, and there I basically just said it's a regular nominator account, which you can create here to create a nominator. Important here also to know is that there are stashes and controllers. So stashes, let's say your account, if you will, and let's say you have 10 Kusama there. Now, if you want to be able to stake that, you need to create the controller that controls that staking part. And this is basically what I do here. So with this account, Leonardo, I basically nominated 15 validators, which are these. And under this list, you see also my validator here. I'm still not quite sure why this is actually not showing in the targets that I also nominated this, but maybe it's something that takes some time. Yeah, so basically now that we got that out of the way, I just want to quickly have a look if this actually might be profitable. Now, there is a page here that I want to show you, stakingrewards.com. Here, basically, what I did is search for Kusama, and then basically, oh, I entered the wrong one. Let me check. So we're going to enter the KSM that we have, or initially we're staking. Select the run validator node, and here's actually already stating that you need at least 350 KSM to start a validator. And so how do I get the days? Well, the days, I mean, it can be longer than this. I just took this, basically the number of the days from the amount of Ankr tokens that it's being deduced over the days. So it's around 140 left for me. And here so that's this one. Okay, let's make this clear. 140 days. The hosting costs a month, like we said before, it was around $2.6 times 30, which is 78. The consumer price is 12 something. Is it compounding reward? Well, I mean, this depends on what you're gonna set in the Polkadot settings about where should you get your rewards. Is it in the same stash or controller, so it activates like a compounding effect, or if you just should put it back in the stash and just have no compounding effect? I tend to, because I'm not quite sure about this, I would just deactivate that, just so I have a little bit of buffer to in case I need to pay for something, or or pay a nominee or something, because I'm not quite sure how that will work out. Let's go back here to this here. So as you can see, in the end of the day, this is what comes out. At the end of the month, it seems to be that I'm losing $59. Well, the thing here is this. You can only validate if you have nominees. Once you have nominees, probably this will, of course, it will go higher. That's for sure. The question is how much is not clear. And this is the issue that I have now. So it seems to me that I will be losing money, and around this $60 a month if I have this node just running, and if I even get nominee. So of course this can actually change a lot if you, let's say, go to 2,500 KSM. Let's say you have a couple of nominees that are actually staking, and you already see, yes, you are actually making some profits. So if you have 2,500 Kusama, this means you're actually making $20 a month, which might be doable if we check on some other validators. I think they have actually quite more usually than that. I don't know, they've like totally staked 11,000, 12,000. Yeah, I mean, of course, these are big players for sure, and that makes kind of sense that if you get nominee, you also get more Kusama stacked. And yeah, this is what I can see for the moment. Not quite sure how this will pan out, because like I said, I only started this 24 hours ago, and there are a couple of few things that I basically want to go back to. And one is the tokenomics of this model of Ankr. One of the interesting things here is that the Ankr acquired from consumers are used to pay providers, provide the ROI for staking, and continue to fund the company and progress the project. This is very interesting. So it seems to me, so the consumers are, if you are a client of Ankr, you pay the providers. The providers, of course, are the providers of the cloud solution, and provide the ROI for staking. So it seems to me that at some point there should be an option to actually stake your Ankr tokens, and you're actually making some profits there that you can reduce from the costs you have for your node. I actually asked about that. This is Ankr project is very interesting. I really like this. I might actually even create another node. I will check, maybe Cardano, I don't know, or even Cosmos, something like that, and stake on those to see how those go. And yeah, you can also actually nominate my node, of course, STAKECHAIN.CRYPTO, if you want to. On another note, you probably might be wondering, how do I get to STAKECHAIN.CRYPTO? Because it's actually a domain. You can actually get that on unstoppabledomains.com. Now, I have a referral link if you're really interested in this, because here you can actually search for domains. Let's say DeFi. Let's have a quick look if this is available, which might be okay. DeFi.crypto, you could buy it for $800. I mean, this is quite crazy. Imagine what this might be in the future, but these are just some examples on how you can actually use unstoppable domains. And this is really cool because at some point in the future, you might actually just give this domain to get paid, to get payments. This will be very cool. So this is actually my rundown on Ankr and how to actually create some nodes. If you have any questions, you can hit me up, put them in the comment section, and yeah, hopefully I can kind of explain to you how this works here on the Polkadot UI, and how you can actually stake on the Kusama network, and how you can actually select nominators through the process here of actions, account actions, and then basically you always need to wait a little bit till this is retrieving data. And here you basically just then at some point you will nominate some set nominees, and then you would actually set the names in here manually, or you can also select them automatically. But I think if you set them automatically, it will only select like those validators that are the most profitable, which I mean mine is not profitable at this point because it basically just started 24 hours ago, so it will not be in this list. But yeah, if you want to help out a brother, it would be really cool if you can nominate my my node. And then yeah, if you guys have any questions, let me know, and then I can create a new video if there's a lot of questions, and if not, then I will also create another node just to see how that works out. All right, peace out, guys.